There we go. That's better. So good evening, friends and fellow practitioners. On this beautiful day, I tried to do this outside with a laptop, but I don't get internet out there, so I'm inside. So that's how it is. Today, I think we have a smaller group because it's Memorial Day, and then some people weren't sure if we were meeting or not, and that's not a problem. They can catch the video if they want to. But today we're going to work a bit with inside and outside, and so by that I mean we'll practice some Ni Gung, which is internal energy work. As well as the gross body and external movements and postures. So, one way to sort of map out or understand some of these esoteric teachings has to do with levels of body. So each one of us, in order to navigate this planet, this space-time realm, we have this physical body, which works really well in this scene with all our senses and so on. In Taoist teachings and Qi practice, there are other levels of body or other bodies. And so there is an internal Qi body that is an energy body where the Qi moves through the various meridians and systems within the body, within the physical body. And these bodies become increasingly subtle until finally it just vanishes and becomes formless. So there are these gradations from form, physicality, space and time, into formlessness. So the energy body, or the internal Qi body, is made up of the Qi of the earth, which is our ancestral Qi, or our natural Qi, our Qi of the springtime, Qi of birth, sort of life force. Energy, and also what the Buddhists would call our karma, our karmic Qi, both individually and collectively. We're working with that. And then there's what they would say, the heavenly Qi, or consciousness, or the Qi beyond space and time. So these two, the earth is yin and the heaven is yang. So they mingle and then move within the physical body. And the Qigong that is oriented toward sensing and cultivating and moving the internal Qi is called Ni Gung. Ni Gung. So that's internal alchemy, they would say. The ancients called it alchemy because they saw it as transforming sort of gross Qi into finer Qi. So there are many alchemical practices, but we'll be working with more with the sort of the acupuncture Qi, the Qi in the body. So first, whenever we're going to do any kind of Qigong, we want to still the body and quiet the mind. And then in so doing, we become aware of the Qi of the downward Qi, the Qi of the earth, the gravity, the presence of the physical body. And then also of the uplift, the rising energy, which is the Qi of consciousness that connects us through the cosmic web connects us to all beings. So just becoming still, and then having a sense of this verticality, and it doesn't have to be complicated or detailed, just a sense of the out breath and going down, the heaviness, gravity, the earth, that the body is made of earth. Just that sense of that. And then the in-breath, the awakening, the consciousness lighting up, the senses and the mind, and going up into the formless. And then once we have the downward in mind, in the body, and the upward in mind and in the body, then we just relax into the body, which is the combination of heaven and earth, or of form and consciousness. And that's what we're doing when we're standing like this. And you may sense the presence of this internal chi by feeling tingling or heat. And then that's the felt sense of the chi body. And in Qigong, when we move, the chi body moves us. So this is Wuji, this is before the beginning, before any movement, before breaking the stillness. Okay, and let's bow to the practice, to the ancestral teachers. And then to the 7 directions. So to the north, to the east, to the south, to the west, back to the first position, above, below, and let's begin with harmonizing heaven and earth. So one palm up and the other down at the center line. So let's put the right hand on top, and we'll turn to the right and switch. So the arms are not moving. They're staying, the hands are staying opposite the center line of the body, and the body is turning at the waist. The hands only move when they switch. Moving with the breath. You can sink down and rise up. You can do this at any speed, really. This is the beginning of the practice. So if you have thoughts are appearing, you maybe do this a little faster and dip a little deeper. Just give it more, a little more intensity, and then the mind will empty. You can do left and right for an in-breath or an out-breath, or you can do it very slowly. So the palms are facing the earth and the heavens. And so we're harmonizing the yin and yang in our body and in our immediate environment. Let's do a couple more. And then switching the palms. And so now this is referring to the internal system the palms are facing. So whatever hand's on top, you go that way. Same movement. Now the sense is the palms connecting. And there's a circle being made here with the hands, the arms, the chest, the heart. And let's reduce the movements. Just sense into the sensations in the hands So sort of another version of balancing heaven and earth is just to separate the palms and then bring them back and just sense into the connection between the palms. And since this is happening at the midline of the body, this is moving the chi not only between the hands, but within the body, in the central axis of the body. Okay, now let's see what happens if you flip the hands out and extend, and then turn, come back, switch the hands, expand, flip the hands out, extend, come back, switch, extend, return, switch, extend, return. Switch, extend, return. And now just hold. Tricia Yu calls this playing with the chi. So you move the hands a little closer and feel that. And then also be aware of the effect this is having within the body, in addition to between the hands. So how this is feeling within the body. And then finally, let's put one hand over the belly, the other over the heart. This is recommended for going to sleep. So one hand is in touch with the earth chi, the ancestral chi. The other is in touch with relationships and with sort of the cosmic chi. Okay, let's go into 3 back washes and 3 each with 3 tree and spring. And when you're ready, go ahead and loosen the neck muscles. And roll the shoulders. And opening the chest. Okay, let's go into some of the flying cranes. Um, the basic in breath, out breath, and then the hands do this little crossing. And then you can exaggerate the crossing. So this is the internal crane, the external crane. And then there's coming down in stages. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then there's shifting the weight. Sorry, you can't see my feet, so we're just going to shift the weight as the arms go up. Bring all the weight onto one foot. You can lift the knee if you want to. And this is the balancing crane. Okay, and this one, when you lift up, you can step forward. Let's do one more on each side. Okay, that's one of the walking cranes. But this, let's do crane walks the riverbank. So this is the arms. The hand goes behind the body when it's down. And then we're going to move the opposite leg as the arm that's out. Okay, so if the right hand is out, we lift the left leg. The left hand is out, we lift the right. Crane walks the riverbank. That's what this is called. Of course, you can walk this way if you're doing walking meditation. And you can back up too. This is just an exaggeration of the way we normally walk. Okay, and then let's reduce. And then finally, the breathing cranes. This is where we're just resting our hands on a sphere just outside the body. And then with the in-breath, the hands move out. With the out-breath, hands move in. Okay, and when you're ready, just return to standing one. So we'll begin the Ni Gung with external body movements. So let's just start with your dominant hand and point the fingers to the center line of your body, and then particularly the middle finger and the index finger. And then in breath, all the way up, and then out breath. And we'll just repeat, pointing, in breath up, out breath down. Okay, now let's switch to the non-dominant hand. So same thing, in breath. Okay, now let's switch hands with each set of breaths. And now let's do both at once. So when one reaches the top, the bottom one begins. Okay, let's just do a couple more. Okay, so intention begins in the mind and it's expressed through the hands. So when our intention is to get in touch with and cultivate the chi within the body. That's our intention. So we're going to use our hand, let's just say our dominant hand, and we'll feel this. And then if you like, you can imagine, I kind of see it as a dotted line or this laser beam of light coming from the middle finger or the first two fingers of the hand and piercing, going into the body and moving that laser beam up. It's like that little light that you use to play with a cat. So you point in and you're pointing to the inside of the spine as you go up. You're moving this beam of light up the inside of the spine, up through the brain, up the top of the head, out the top of the head, and then infinitely up. And then down the front, pointing this way. So we've been inside the body. As we come down, we're coming down the inside front of the body. We're making this big oval. So with the in-breath, we're starting up the inside of the spine, breathing in, all the way right out the top of the head, touching the heavens. And then as we come down, it's inside the body, down the face, tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. That's going down the mouth, down the throat, chest, solar plexus, belly, and all the way down to the perineum. So the pointing finger indicates where the attention or the light or the feeling is moving in the body. Okay? So it's up the back and down the front. This is called the microcosmic orbit. It's a continuous flow. So using both hands is a little more accurate. And you may want to focus just on the rising energy as it goes up the spine. You're using two hands, it's always going up. Or you can focus primarily on the down the inside front of the body. Okay, and let's just do a few more and reduce the movements. And you can let go of all the visualizing if you want to, and just do the hand movement. That's fine. Just reduce the movements. And then just move the chi with the breath. So in breath, starting at the perineum, up the inside of the spine, lighting up the brain and exiting the skull and up into the universe. And out breath, coming down inside the front of the body, touching down through the perineum to the earth. Use the eyes. It's the eyes and the fingers will really enhance the attention. So if your eyes are closed or almost closed, you can move the eyes so you're looking within the body. The eyes are looking up at the inner spine. They're looking out the top of the head. They're looking down the front inside of the body. So we can use the hands, the eyes, and the breath. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then let's go ahead and get your stool. A good mudra for this is the Lan Fa. So this is sort of the crane's beak or the dragon's eye, touching the first two fingers to the thumb, and then on the knees. That symbolizes internal movement. So just check in briefly with that vertical axis. And now using the eyes and the breath. In breath, breathe up the back of the spine, or the inside of the spine. Now, if you like, you can do this more slowly. Do an in-breath and an out-breath going up. In-breath, out-breath going down. Once you've got this going, you can let go of directing the attention and let the eyes be neutral and just sense this microcosmic orbit as continuous. This continuous flow. And then let go of the directionality and just the field of it. And just let the radiance fill the whole torso. Now, if you like, you can breathe in from the earth through the perineum and fill the torso with light. And breathe out through the top of the head, or the other way around. Because the internal orbit is connected to the earth and to the heavens. And just let this go. You can breathe in from the top and the bottom at the same time. Breathe out, whatever happens. And eventually you let go of moving the chi. And there's just the energy, the sensation of the energy, and the breath. And this is where the rainbow clouds beyond the edge of the universe are, right here. And there's no separation between the internal and the external. Just the breath and the sense of this field. Okay, now, if you would please, let's bring our attention fully into the physical sitting body. And then back to the field, the expanded field. And let it get even bigger. Okay, and let's return attention to the sitting physical body. And then with the out breath into the expanded field. And now have a sense of this sitting physical body that we can feel and the expanded field. A body within a body. Okay, and let's, if you would, please let's focus the attention on the physical body sitting here. Posture, the heaviness, and on the movement of the chi inside the body. And on the field radiating. Expand to a sense of a very large body. So the stuff that the large body is made of is the same as the stuff that the compact physical body is made of. It's just more dispersed. So we can be in this field and we can coalesce all of that energy into this physical body. And then we can expand all of that out into this field, the chi body. So it's all the same. It's just a matter of how dense it is. The in-breath is birth. We come into the dense physical. The out-breath is death or release, and we expand. And they can switch too. And with the in-breath, we're alert and present to our senses. With the out-breath, we expand and are diffuse. Now let's take a few more breaths. Okay, and please return to standing when you're ready. And you can still do the mudra if you want, or So can you sense this same, the meditation from sitting, can you sense it right now, standing? Okay, good. All right. Well, let's do the removing glasses move. And all together, we'll clap one time. Make heat. Massage the eye sockets. And comb back the hair. And then tap the kidneys. Massage the kidneys. Thank you for your practice. So if you have any questions or comments, please unmute yourself and have at it. No? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. It's very experiential, so it doesn't lend itself to a lot of talk. But I just will say one thing I've said many times, which is that all of these techniques, traditional postures and movements and meditations, all of these things, eventually they dissolve because they're all forms, they're all structures. So eventually they all dissolve, and when that happens, there's just this chi, there's just this awareness, and then that's where you rest. But being able to move in and out of that that's really an important part of the practice. So once we can feel that and experience that, that's very good. It's very liberating. Excuse me. But then we want to embody. You know, we want to be here. We want to have our boundaries. We want to live our lives. We want to be able to do what we need to do. And then as we need to expand, so we can do that. So we need to be able to do both of these and have gradations of all of it. Yeah. So in a sense, there's, from that point of view, there's really nothing to teach, because you have to let go of all of it. And I think that's what the Buddha did. He wasn't a Buddhist, you know. So, okay, well, thank you all for joining me. And I'm going to go outside and enjoy the day. And Todd, can I just ask you, what interesting birds have you seen in the last day or two?
Migration is pretty much done at this point.
Can't hear.
Oh, am I muted? Can you hear me?
There we go. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was saying migration is pretty much over. There was another little warbler wave Sunday morning after that storm, but the interesting news is I am told by a reliable friend in the neighborhood that we have a pair of merlins nesting in the neighborhood, which is kind of crazy because they're supposed to be in northern Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
And I saw one of the birds the other day. They're little falcons,
Yeah.
but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
so right now it's all about going out and listening to our resident birds going crazy, singing, and the males chasing each other out of each other's territories and all this kind of stuff. Keeping an eye on the females and all that sort of stuff. So
Okay.
it's
The bird
hot and heavy action out there for the birds.
the bird world update.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Thanks, Todd. And thanks everybody. Thanks for joining, and keep practicing. And we'll see you in a week.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
My pleasure.